Hey everybody, it's Chevy, Nobody Else's Auto. In an old building where we just found this old abandoned project. Been sitting in here for a handful of years. Estate deal. Car never got put back together, sitting here in pieces, but it's a pretty cool one. 1958 Chevrolet Impala. Now obviously we can see the shell behind us. The car is all here, just boxed up. All the boxes are marked. The frame and suspension are done. 348. So we're gonna give you a few shots, show you a few shots exactly as I found this. This is exactly as these buildings were opened up today when I saw them. Well, there's the shell on a rotisserie. Been sitting in here for a long time. We can see the amount of dust that's been piling up on this car for as long as it's been in here. Now, good thing about it, it's been dry. There's a little bit of surface rust starting on this car, but it's minimal. But we can see the quarters. We can see it had a little patch put in it there. We can see the rockers. It's had a little patch put in it there. But this really looks like a pretty nice body. Man, it's been here a long time. We can see the amount of dust on this thing. Just a cloud of it everywhere. But one nice thing about it, we can see it all. Swing over here to the other side real quick. There again, just a few small patches have been put into this body, and that looks like it's about it. So one nice thing about them being all apart, you can sure see every bit of it. Fortunately, it does still have the VIN tag there, intact. And over here we have the rest of the sheet metal. The elusive Impala trunk lid, which looks amazing. Covered up under all this plastic. Front fenders, hood, and over here, I believe, there they are the doors. Both doors. So let's go explore some more parts of this building and see and check out some of the rest of the pieces of this car. Over in this area, boxes of parts. Now, fortunately, this thing was taken apart meticulously and marked carefully, right quarter glass. So let's open this box marked right quarter glass. And there we have right quarter glass with channels, regulator, trim, everything for the right quarter glass. So pretty much everything appears to be here, we hope. The owners thought everything was pretty much here. Left front door. And vent window, door glass assembly, latch, regulator. So there again, I am hoping that this holds true as I sort through all these boxes. The ones I opened up looked correct, like they were marked correct, and the correct pieces were there. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that as this project progresses, there's side moldings, the rocker moldings, some of the side trim. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this is all marked correctly and these pieces are all here. Headlights, fender, right fender and headlight assembly. And there's, looks like most of the trim. There's the headlight buckets. Interior windshield moldings. So, like I said, until we get this all dug out of here, you can see the amount of dust on this stuff. No way of knowing for sure, but keeping my fingers crossed. The family believed everything was still here. There's the dash cluster. So keeping our fingers crossed that that all holds true as we start sorting through some of this stuff. Trunk, lock-in moldings. There's a Chevrolet script, trunk latch assembly. So at this point, there's all the taillights. Just kind of keeping our fingers crossed. Anytime you buy something like this, you're taking a chance that a box didn't get lost or misplaced over the years. And on to another section of the building where we find more of the car. Here is the frame and running gear. Frame was powder coated. All the suspension is in it. It is a rolling chassis. Obviously the 348W headed motor, 4-barrel, powerglide. Does look like a nice clean frame. Rear end assembly, park brakes. So they believe a lot of the brake lines and stuff were run on this. I don't know. I haven't looked at it that close, but it does appear as though they did put new park brake cables on it and did some of that stuff as far as getting this thing ready for the body to go back on it. Also up here, the original seats. There's the upper back seat, and that appears to be completely original. It's got a little age to it, but obviously the rear seat speaker grill, the front seat, the inner fender wells have already been painted or possibly powder coated. They did powder coat the frame. I don't know about any of this stuff. All these front pieces here, bracketry. There's the original rear side panels with trim. Steering column. And here's the lower back seat. There's the lower rear side panels, sun visors, and one accessory they had picked up for this car they were going to add to it, the 3-deuce setup for the 348. So like I said, I'm kind of taking a gamble that this is all here, but we won't know until we start digging her out. A few more pieces over here we forgot. There are the exhaust manifolds over here. There is the 4-barrel for it. So, like I said, just keeping my fingers crossed that this wasn't a bad idea, because it's a ton of work. So, just hopefully it all works out. Well, there it is, exactly as I found it. When we opened up the doors of this old building, that's what I saw. So, cool old car, looks to be a decent body, looks like a lot of good pieces here. We can tell by the originality of the interior, because I'm almost positive that is original interior. It's not perfect, it's definitely got some age to it. So I'm almost 100% positive that interior has never been redone. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed that that's a sign of the rest of the pieces and everything being pretty good for this old Impala. So anyway, there it is, exactly as I found it. I guess we got to get to work, because this is going to be a major project, getting this stuff out of here, loaded, etc. So we're gonna get to work. I hope you guys enjoyed seeing it exactly as is, where is, exactly what we saw when we opened the doors of these old buildings. So stay tuned. Well, we're gonna get to work on this thing. We'll show you what we're gonna get into getting this thing out of here. So, well, we're on the road today, headed back over to the 58 Impala that we just checked out on the day I found it. Now we're going back to get it. Definitely colder today, which is never fun, but it is dry, which is obviously extremely critical when we're dealing with an entire body that isn't bare metal. Looks like it's supposed to be dry tomorrow, but definitely moisture. Dry today, definitely moisture tomorrow. So we're gonna try to get this thing all loaded up and back to the shop yet this afternoon. Now the plan for today is get the body on the rotisserie out of that part of the building. This is an old dealership and there's several different areas of this building. Get the body on the rotisserie out over to a different area of the building where they've got a lift, so that hopefully we can put the lift arms onto the body, unbolt the body off the rotisserie, roll the rotisserie out of the way, and then roll the chassis right back under the body, sit the body back down on the chassis. They have done some prep work. The part of the building where the chassis was at, which was a completely different section, was full of a lot of other stuff. So they said they've got that cleaned out to where we should be able to roll the chassis back out and have it ready to go back under the body. So we've got a plan. We'll see how this plan comes together, but we do have a plan. So hopefully this all goes the way that we're hoping for. We get this thing loaded up, tied down, get her back to the shop, and back inside another dry building today, because they definitely say we're getting moisture tomorrow. So it's going to be important to get this all done today, and hopefully if this all goes according to plan, shouldn't be a problem. So we're getting close. We'll get there and start getting this thing out. All right, time to dig out the sheet metal. Body is bolted down on the frame. Chassis and body are loaded on the trailer. Now we're gonna start digging the sheet metal out and getting it stacked in the car and tied down. And literally working around everything, including the kitchen sink. And there's our door. See how these look, because obviously I've never seen them. And I don't think they get much better than that. I really don't think you're going to find 58 doors that are any better than that one. All right, let's get the other one out. Keep our fingers crossed it's as good. Oh man, nice doors, beautiful doors. All right, we found the doors. That appears to be a fender. Let's start on this pile over here. This fender does have some surface rust. Check it out. Let's see how it looks. Looks like it had a tiny spot fixed in the bottom of it. Backside looks all original brace in it. This one just has a little more surface rust on it. Apparently got a little bit of moisture on it. Some point, look up front. May have had a little repair there done. I'll tell you what, as common as it is for these 58 fenders to go up here, but I mean that even looks original in there and all those spot welds there. That's definitely a working piece. Hood. Once again, some light surface rust on the hood. There's our fenders. But the hood looks great too. Front lips all good and solid. Hinges aren't broke out. All right. So far, so good on the sheet metal. Like I said, I didn't even see any of this when I bought it. Obviously, this hasn't been out of here in a long time. Let's take out the other fender. Okay, hanging here on a sawhorse. Once again, light surface rust. Upper headlight area. It's pretty good on this one too. Look, just had a tiny bit of repair work done maybe. And we're looking back here, same thing. Just a tiny little bit of rust repair in the dogleg area. Okay, one more piece. I don't know if this is the power parts. Oh, check that out. Skirts. New skirts. Front splash panel. And there she is, the Impala trunk lid. This thing looks great. We kind of took a quick peek at this earlier. We could just see a little bit of it. Man, it looks good there. Let's flip this thing over. Take a look at the bottom of this. Oh man, the trunk, look at the bottom lip of that thing. That doesn't even look like it's ever even been repaired. But like we looked at earlier, believed to be a 17,000 mile car, so that would kind of make sense. So, looks like there's our radiator. So, I guess we will get the sheet metal loaded, and then we were gonna go over to the area by where the lift was at, because that whole big pile of boxes over there goes, then up where the chassis was at, another part of the building, interior, seats, things like that. So we're gonna get this stuff loaded and keep going. Okay, we just got the glass loaded, the windshield, the back glass were sitting in here in a rack. They are loaded. We're getting ready to start on all of these boxes, trim, moldings, all kinds of stuff. Like we just saw earlier, this stuff is pretty much all marked and did appear to be marked correctly. There's the radio. Wonderbar. So, lots of trim in all these boxes. So we got to start loading this and one other area. Okay, back up here in the showroom where the chassis was sitting, we got to get into all of this stuff as well. Fenders, seats. So I believe these are the original seats, and if it was a 17,000 mile car, that could sure be correct. There's the front seat. All kinds of miscellaneous pieces up in this area that have to be loaded as well. So, we better keep boogieing. We've still got a ways to go yet. Okay, let's get some more of this stuff dug out. Looks like bumper brackets. Oh, here's the door panels. Here's the front door panels. We saw the rear side panels earlier, which there again, I'm sure these are original. Let's take a look at the fronts. And for being original, those have got to be original. 1958 original door panels. Armrest isn't worn out. You can see, I mean, they're old. They've got age to them. You can see there's some wrinkles and stuff in the material. That screw pulled through. These. Wow. For original, those have to be original. Where it's cracked out a little bit around the holes, but those have got to be original door panels. Steering wheel. Oh wow, look at that thing. A few chips in it. It's not even cracked or busted up. All right, I guess we better keep rolling. We got a lot of work to do, so stay tuned, we're making headway. Well, like I told you, this old Impala was stored in an old dealership building. You guys are gonna love this, check this out. The old school alignment pit is still here. Steps on down, cabinet, John Bean, Lansing, Michigan. This thing's cool. Drove the car right on here, concrete stands. Kind of a cool deal. Thought you guys might enjoy checking that out too while we were here. Okay, we got the bumpers out, the grill. The bumpers actually, I think, have been re-chromed already. If not, they look great. But it appears as though these were already done. So we're gonna get these wrapped up. They're a little dusty. They've been in here for a long time. Grill looks good. Even already had exhaust ready to go on it. Well, I think we've got it all loaded. Obviously the car's here. Bumpers are wrapped up. Seat, back seat, glass. We got Dad's pickup over here. The back of it's full. Pile of boxes on his trailer. So, I guess we're ready to head home, start unloading this. So, I think we've got it all on. We do have to come back. Shockingly to probably no one, we bought more stuff before we got out of here. But for today, there's the 58 Impala. Let's go get this thing unloaded and take a little bit better look at some of it. Well, we got the old Impala back. Got it back while it was still dry. Didn't get into any moisture. Got it unloaded. So everything was good there. Got everything laid out, I think. And I can't guarantee you that every single piece is here, but it's pretty much all here. So pretty comfortable about that, whether I end up parting this car out or whether somebody wants to go ahead and build it. Either way, I mean, I think it's pretty much all here. Starting off right here with the windshield and the back glass. Fortunately, they had a handy rack built for that, so it's been safe. And I've got things kind of laid out here. So we'll just start working our way through this stuff. Starting right here with stuff from the back of the car. Antenna, the tail lights, the trunk pieces, the trunk latch, the Chevrolet script, the V. Like I said, fortunately, most of this stuff was marked. Just like this, trunk lock and moldings. Has shown pretty truthful as I've gone through stuff. The rear quarter panels. Left quarter panel. The pitchfork, as well as the molding, as well as the little hash marks. Same thing on the right side. The pitchfork, the molding, and the emblems are in here in this one. Dash parts. It looks like most of the dash parts are still in here. Now, going through the paperwork, I found a letter, a notarized letter, that was from the former owner of this car, not the estate that I bought it from, but the people that he bought it from. They had a signed notarized letter stating that when they bought the car in the late 70s, it was a 17,000 actual mile car. And this was in the late 70s when they bought it. They sold the car to the person that I ended up getting it from in 2006. At that point, based on what the odometer shows, it shows 33,338 miles. So, I'm going to say, based on the paperwork I found, based on what this shows, this was probably correct. If it had 17,000 miles in the late 70s, I'm sure it was driven some throughout the 80s, car shows, things like that. So, I'm going to guess and feel comfortable saying this was a 33,000 mile car before it came apart. Now, along with this, all the dash stuff is here in these boxes. The wiring harness, the trim, lighters, the switches, all that type of stuff is in there. Some more dash parts, the dash trim with the clock in it, the ashtray, all the stuff in these dash boxes, including the Wonderbar radio. Always a cool accessory. And the knobs down in there as well. So, like I said, so far still feeling pretty good about this deal. Now, you saw when we loaded the car that it is a 4-barrel 348, but you see in the first part, this came with it. It did come with 3 deuces. Now, I do not have an air cleaner or anything for it, but it did come with a 3-deuce setup for the 348. So, if somebody did want to build this car, you could go either way with it. Another important part of the 58 Impala, the rear roof vent. This is a little dirty, but I believe it has been re-chromed already. It sure looks pretty nice. So, almost looks like that has been re-chromed. just like we saw on the bumpers had already been done as well. So let's kind of work our way around to the other side of the trailer over here where I've got stuff laid out. And I've got a lot of the moldings set out here. Obviously front fender, doors, quarter panels, trim around the windows, the roof rail moldings, the roof rail channels, both sides taped together and marked. Some more of the window moldings. Here's the hood stuff, hood parts, the hood latch, the bow tie emblem, the V, the front hood bar. All still in the hood box, just like we're hoping to see on all this stuff. Rocker moldings still look great. And some of the interior trim pieces. So, like I said, so far so good. Let's keep working our way through this stuff as we work our way back to the car. Over here, here again, just what you hope to see. Rear quarter windows. Not only do you have the rear quarter windows, you've got the regulator, you've got the tracks, you've got everything marked by side and in a box and ready to go. So this stuff is all kept together so you know what is what on these things. So like I said, whether I part the car out, at least it's marked, I know where stuff is at, or if somebody did decide to build it, same thing. Over here on the front windows, same thing with these door parts. Right front door, the glass, the vent window, the regulator, the trim, the handle, the latch. It's all in here marked by piece. And the other nice thing about it, this being a 30,000 mile car, you know, you keep your fingers crossed that the latches, the regulators, all that stuff is good, which I'm venturing that it probably, to guess it probably would be, because just based on the condition of this stuff. Same thing here on the other door, and there's also a bucket in here that has some of the other miscellaneous door parts, mirror, door handle guards, all this stuff in here, sorted exactly like you would hope it would be. Heater. Here's the heater box, the heater controls, the defrost ducts, all in one box. We know what it is, we know where it's at. The radiator. Like I said, fortunately, this has all been holding true. When you buy a car like this, you keep your fingers crossed that that's what's really going to be there when you get there, but you never know till you lay it all out and start going through it. And it's hard to do that while you're trying to load the car and get everything sorted and get it tied down and get it back home. Fenders, headlight assemblies, headlight bezels, the trim. There again, sorted by fender. So it's ready to go. Some other boxes of miscellaneous stuff. Windshield wipers, electric wipers, the wiper motor, the wiper transmissions, the wiper arms, all right there in one box. Now, some of the stuff that just absolutely amazed me about this car, which is also something that leads me to believe that the 33,000 miles is correct. Look at some of this interior trim. These appear to be absolutely original door panels. Are they perfect? No. They've got some wear, they've got some wrinkles in them, but these appear to be original 1958 door panels. Obviously the trim and everything is great, but even the armrests do not have excessive wear on them. They're not ripped, they're not torn up. You know, a few little cracks around where the handles would have gone. We can see the edges are rolled a little bit. But this stuff is 1958. I mean, some of that stuff has got to be expected after this many years. But just absolutely amazing condition on these interior parts. I just was shocked as I looked through some of this stuff. Sun visors, once again, great original condition. Now, is this stuff Concours 100-point stuff? No, because it's original. But it's in amazing shape for 1958. Steering column. And there's actually some extra gold trim or gold upholstery here too. I don't know what that was for, but obviously looks like it would match the car, so that would be some extra stuff. But on the steering column, this is something else that is amazing. The steering wheel is still here and is in just absolutely a wonderful condition. It's not busted up. The paint even looks good. We see some chips and scratches in it because it's been used, but still in really great condition. The front seat. Obviously, the front seat is going to take all the heat, all the wear on one of these cars as it's being driven and used over the years. And it still looks that good. Is it perfect? No. It's got a few little snags in it, some things like that. But really, considering its age, just stunning condition for what I seriously believe to be original. Brakes, park brake assembly, brake pedal assembly, brake booster. Yes, it was a power brake car as well. Not only was it a power brake car, it was a power steering car. The original generator with power steering pump and lines still here. And as we look at the car, we can see the cylinder and the other pieces for the power steering are still here on the front of the suspension. Obviously, there's a 348 motor with the 4-barrel intake, and there's the 4-barrel carb for the 4-barrel intake. Now, over here, we get into more of the upholstery. Here's the headliner, which is obviously old and worn, but the bows are there. The original dash pad, which obviously needs to be replaced. It's old and shrunk, but it's not shredded and it's original. The back seat, once again, I'm going to go with the fact that it's original and in that good a condition. Still feels good, still pliable. Speaker grill looks amazing, still has the pop-up armrest. The rear panels, both the uppers and the lowers, still there again, appear to be original upholstery and in good condition. And obviously the trim all looks great, and to restore this car to a high level, absolutely amazing pieces to start with. The grille and park lights, once again, also in good condition. Also have a new set of fender skirts for it, which are not GM, but they are new. They were purchased for this project. Plus some other stuff that was purchased for this project. Like I said, obviously this car was in progress. Several weather strips and seals, rear glass channel, windshield channel, trunk weather strip, multiple other little rubber bumper type pieces, brake lines, right front crossover, 15 Impala with power brakes, so new brake lines, lots of other new hardware, new clips. And that's what most of these boxes here are, miscellaneous hardware, clips. A lot of it is marked, a lot of it's new. So all kinds of stuff to help with this project that was already bought, already here for it. I've got receipts in the file as far as what was done. There were the brakes, it looks like they overhauled the wheel cylinders in them. There were receipts for the kits. There were receipts for a lot of the suspension bushings and things like that. About $800 worth of new parts already done in the suspension and brakes as far as overhauling the wheel cylinders and new bushings and things like that in the suspension of this Impala. Over here, a lot of the interior trim, the windshield trim, some of the other window moldings, the roof rail moldings for the inside. A couple of very unique pieces here. The rear seat moldings that go right across the top of the rear seat up here, obviously specific to the Impala or the Bonneville. And other clips and miscellaneous pieces, more new clips, more new hardware. So, a lot of good stuff there. The bumpers, I left them wrapped up. We saw a little bit ago, those are re-chromed. We wrapped them back in their blankets, taped them up. I left them there for now because I didn't want to get them out and get them scratched up any worse or anything like that. They look like nice re-chrome bumpers. They did not look like Concours quality bumpers, but they look like nice pieces from what I saw. Obviously, a lot of this stuff already done. A lot of this is front-end bracketry. Obviously, your core support, your fan shroud, your fan, some of your baffles, some of your panels, some of your bracketry. This has all been cleaned up and either powder-coated or painted. Not sure. I'm thinking it's powder-coated, but not 100% sure. Can't guarantee that. As well as back here, the inner fenders already done. And we also brought the exhaust back that came with it. Whether or not that is exhaust someone would use, obviously it all looked to be in good condition. It is dual exhaust, obviously set up for this car, so we definitely brought it home. Now, obviously, we've got the car here. It is rolling. It did sit right back on the frame. You bolted it back down to the frame, and you can see a little more now, just like you did on the rest of this video, how clean this thing is. It did have a trunk floor put in, I believe, and it had a left front floor panel put in it, and a few other patches. It's had a little bit of work done, but overall, it really looks amazing. We can see down here on the quarter panels, you know, it looks like it had a little patch put in there. It's had a little bit of work here and there, but really, really minimal considering what a lot of these cars look like today. Put all the sheet metal inside the car. You saw that as we dug it out. The hood, the trunk lid, the fenders, and the doors are all stacked right inside the car. Full set of chrome reverse wheels. I think going for the American Graffiti type look that were already bought and put on this car. All look great. I think they were purchased new and put on this project from what I can tell, because they all look nice. Nice shiny chrome, not surface rusted, bent, beat up, anything like that. Drive shaft. And over here, more of the same. And like I said, we saw a lot of this when the car was up on the lift, you know, and getting ready to drop the body back onto the frame. But just a really, really great project. So, there you have it. What does the future hold? I don't know. Like I said, if I part the car out, it's already apart. I don't even have to take it apart. Everything is in boxes and marked. So, I mean, that's definitely a possibility just because it's already apart. Or if somebody wanted to build the car, it's an amazing project. It really could go either way at this point. But if you got any questions about it, just give me a shout, 620-786-4428. It's a neat car. Like I said, either this... It's going to do one of two things. Like I said, it's going to save a lot more cars, or this one could still be saved as well, depending on what somebody wanted to do. So, like I said, you got any questions about this one or the other 2,000 cars and trucks we got here at Nobody Else's Auto, just give me a call at my cell number, 620-786-4428. We can have a short conversation about the Impala or whatever else you're looking for. And that way I can get all the facts from you, year, make, model, body style, all that type of information that I need to know if I may have something here to help you out. You like these old cars, you like these old trucks, be sure to check out the channel, Nobody's Show. Click that subscribe button and click that notification button. We do a lot of cool live stuff on here you don't want to miss either. But that's about all we do on here. Old cars, old trucks. That's really about all I know. Memorabilia, type stuff, that type of stuff. Because I really don't have anything else to talk about. But that's what we do here. We have a lot of fun with it. The Impala's a neat car. Like I said, I don't know what the best plan of attack for it is, but it is a cool car. It's got a ton of potential, or it's going to save a lot more of them with the quality of the parts that are here. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned. We got a lot more cool stuff coming up, but we'll see what happens with the Impala. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope to see you soon on the next video.